graphic performance, the opening and closing ceremonies of the Olympic Games and Expo exhibitions. Please welcome Professor Koh to the podium.
안녕하세요.
Good morning. As introduced, my name is Koh Joo-won. He said that I featured in the Olympic Games. I didn't. And I directed the video for the opening and closing ceremonies of the Olympic Games. And today, my theme is AI exhibition in the age of AI, creating beyond the taxidermy. And I thought about this title for a week because we have AI and digital exhibition. In these two are still ongoing development, and the development is happening very fast. So we cannot say that it is a one type of art yet. However, this is clear. Museum and exhibition are still dealing with the past, and digital and AI have the concept of creation. That is why, how can we include the future in the museum's activities? This is the question we have to ask ourselves. And recently, in the field of exhibition, digital videos have been in the highlight. It has been actively used for the past 5 years. And this is not a mere change of the method of creation, but the change of the environment entirely. So in the past, the exhibition on relics always had glass boxes and frames. And it was very static environment. That is why the experience was about the space only. And the viewers stayed in the space and just imagined the time from the prehistoric era and up to date. And we made assumptions, and we had to do rounds of interpretation, and we needed so much information to understand the exhibition. However, now we have the moving image, which entails time and space in the first place. Why is that? Video has the designated time of playing, so we have to stay until the end of the video to understand the content. That means the creator decides the viewing time. So he makes 5-minute video, and the creator can decide how long the viewer has to stay. However, no matter how well-known the painting is and how famous the relics are, the viewer can decide how long they are going to stay there. So this is the biggest difference. So the moving image entails time and space at the same time. And what does that mean? The moving image makes people and the viewer passive. That is why in the past, we had to read the text to understand the heritage, and we had to imagine the time of the past based on the narrative. But we developed this habit of intuition. And intuition has a great advantage, but at the same time, it diminishes people's activity and dynamism of thoughts. But the biggest advantage of intuition is that museum can bridge the gap between learning and fun. So we provide information to people, and we display new types of relics. Then viewers have to make efforts to learn about them. However, it is less fun. But what about the interactive media and video? we experience the content and we view it and we experience it directly, so it is more fun. But if we only focus on fun, the learning abilities could be compromised. So we have to find a balance. But if we tap into intuition, we can strike the balance. And I brought one exemplary video, and in 2019, there was this new policy built, and it was called Immersive Digital Gallery, and this video was used for that gallery. So 60-meter by 50-meter screen, and this video is played permanently throughout the day. And I remember that there were 6 videos, and it is 100% video space. So when we built this space for the first time, there was controversy because most of the national treasures are stored in the trove, so they cannot be displayed to the public, but we can display them through the video. But even though it was a source of controversy, I see more advantages of this because people are drawn to this. People are interested in this because of intuition. They don't have to interpret the content, but by just viewing the video, they can cherish the content. And another advantage is related to the visual principle and the principle of a human body. And when you look at the space, please look at the edge. The edge is curved, not sharp. And I strongly recommended to have this curved edge because just like this space, we have this box type space with different walls, but the sharp edge is a regular space. It is just like our room and school and offices. They are nicely square and we have different walls, but we have to make connection between these walls if you want the people to see it as one screen and one image. That is why I made the edge curved. It was effective. Even though the screen was 60-meter long, people could experience the immersive content on a single screen. And why do we need this? Because we want to present the immersive content, and size matters here. So if we spend more money, we can make it bigger, but it is not about that. Size itself decides the level of immersion. And we have many immersive space these days, and there are many visitors. And why is that? The IMAX theater and the regular theater have the same level of resolution, but people are still willing to pay more for IMAX. The same goes for the immersive hall. So this is about VR, and we use this term called the field of view. And this is basically the viewing angle of humans. And how wide the viewing angle for human body? Amazingly, it is almost 200 degrees. It differs depending on individual, but it is clearly wider than 180 degrees. So throughout our life, we do not adjust our lenses just like camera. We just look at the wide screen of 180 degrees. So when we call something immersive, we have to ensure the viewing angle wider than 180 degrees, because People might feel that it is narrow when it is less than 180 degrees. So we watch 85-inch TV at home, and we watch smartphone screen, and we visit the theater. But the viewing angle at maximum is 120 degrees, and we still think that that is wide. However, our nature to look at the surroundings has a wider angle, which is about 180 degrees. That's what we have materialized in the immersive exhibition hall. And let me talk about AI from now. I didn't study AI for a long time, so I gave this a thought for days. And I thought about the features of AI. And for starters, give me a second. AI utilizes a huge amount of data instead of focusing on one artifact. So it combines vast amounts of data, and it creates through generative tools, and it transforms the prototype of the artifact to create something new. So collecting and archiving data is one story, but creating something unexpected out of it is another story. And I brought another example. So in 2018, AI was still beginning, but in Los Angeles, there is Walt Disney Concert Hall. And it was a projection mapping content created there. And Walt Disney has a College of Arts, and they have this concert hall. And LA Philharmonic celebrated its 100 years, and they combined all the visual and audio data they have. It was as large as 45 terabytes. And they combined the data through machine learning, and they displayed this video on the facade wall. And one music was expressed in different ways, and one content was interpreted in different ways. So 100 years was combined into a single content. What does that mean? This data, so this outcome is an objective data, and at the same time, it was something new. And the producers of this content, their intention was partially reflected. So this content is objective and subjective at the same time. And even though this is a single video, the outcome was created by artificial intelligence, so it is different from human-made CG. And that was the biggest characteristic of AI-based project. And how AI technologies could be cherished as a form of culture and art content. And let me talk about the characteristics of AI-created content. And one of the features is to exclude the ideology of a creator. So the intention of the creator will be fully reflected in CG. However, computer makes this consent, so it can exclude the ideology of a creator. And big data is used to imagine the humankind. And the origin of AI data is not the imagination of machines, but the data accumulated by humans. We say that this content was created by machines, but the computational work was done by machines, but the data itself was accumulated by humans. For the past 20 years, we have recorded so many things on the website. And these data are used for the content. And mostly, AI made vague images. However, now we are seeing more concrete images based on patterns. So let me share my own AI-created content. And this is the history of Korean houses, Korean traditional houses. So it is a short video clip. So this is the house from the prehistoric era, and we have skyscrapers in these days. So you can see the transformation. So I accumulated data of houses in different days and periods. And you can see the transformation in a single content. So it was my intention, not the intention of the computer. So at the end of the day, you can see the house of the future, and AI still can make a prediction for the future. And lastly, let me talk about AI and the sea, which is the theme of this session. And as the previous speakers said, we believe that we know the sea. However, it is still unknown to humans, and we will remain this way because we live on land. We cannot live in the sea, so we didn't see the deepest part of the sea. So in other words, we just have an understanding of the shallow sea, but we have to imagine the whole sea based on what we have seen. So I just showed you the content where the prehistoric house transforming into a new building. As such, I believe that the AI could help us imagine the whole thing based on what we have seen. And what are the implications for the future? At the current stage, we are focused on video. That's how we organize AI and digital exhibitions, but that is just another form of visual and audio art. It is viewing and listening. However, as I have emphasized, AI can utilize all the data accumulated by humanity. So scent and temperature and humanity and all the senses of humans can be used and created based on the data. So going beyond the video and audio, we can create an exhibition using all of the 5 senses of a human body, and AI can play a critical role here. Instead of merely changing the viewing method, we can change the fundamental question, which is what exhibition means. So instead of imagining the past only, we can recreate the times of the past. That could be the future purpose of the exhibition. And these days, there is a rapid expansion of immersive content. And relics are from the distant past. And in the past, we had to analyze and interpret the relics, but now we can intuitively understand them through our content. This will not stop at mere facts, because museums were past-oriented. However, there will be a new role in creating current relics for future museums. Thank you very much.